be fine now. I apologize for all the technical errors. I just need to make sure that it's not going to drop my frame rate again. If it does, I have one more idea before I troubleshoot again. So I'll wait about another minute and we'll see. Okay, I'm going to hit that just in case. But it seems to be fine now. I'm hoping. It seems to be okay for now. Okay, I think, apologies. I think it should be fine now. Okay, let me know if it starts lagging again, and then we can go from there. I will start with reading the disclaimer over again, I suppose. It is also in the description. Please be careful when viewing this. This contains mentions of death, suicide, doxing, fake claiming, harassment, trauma, sexual abuse, slurs, sexual themes, trafficking, etc. We will be referring to this person as Patterson and using they them pronouns to prevent claims of deadnaming and misgendering. We do not know the name nor pronouns they currently go by. Any deadnaming or misgendering is not intentional and not done out of malice. Any documents, messages, etc. will be read as they are written, but any of our own commentary will use Patterson and they them pronouns. I would like to clarify that point just for a moment, because there seems to be some confusion about that. Anything we have, whether it be screenshots, things like police reports, anything that we have will be read as written. That is not us intentionally misgendering or deadnaming anyone. We have this in the disclaimer for a reason. I just wanted to make that clear because apparently it was not clear enough before. Please do not attack, harass, or seek out anyone mentioned here. This is in no way, shape, or form meant to be a personal attack or harassment campaign. There's only been one narrative out in the public, and that has been Patterson & Co.'s. Now that we are in a better mental space and a much safer environment, it's time to tell our side. We do not support anyone using this as a reason to go out and attack anyone, especially in our name. Do not try to dig for more information about these people, including but not limited to phone numbers, relative contact info, etc. The claims against us are abhorrent and false. We will be showing evidence wherever possible. This includes... Hello, would you like mod powers? I think I can't give it to you through Streamlabs, but I think I can give it to you through where we have it pulled up on our phone. No pressure if you do not want to. I just thought I would throw the offer out. The claims against us are abhorrent and false. We will be showing evidence wherever possible. This includes videos, screenshots, comment logs, chat logs, voicemails, audio recordings, etc. Anything redacted will be explained for full transparency. Most things shown will have no redactions. Is that a yes? Okay. Let me see. There you are. This includes videos, voices, faces, chat logs, etc. This is for full transparency. If the people involved in these did not want this to be shown, they should have shown everything to begin with instead of spreading lies and conspiracies without proof. None of these streams are scripted beyond this beginning disclaimer. This document is for our own organization to sort evidence and stay on track. These streams are unedited. You may see us switch, dissociate, cry, become triggered, have flashbacks, etc. We will do our best to give trigger warnings where applicable, but we cannot guarantee anything. From this point on, please be responsible for and aware of your own triggers. This channel and these streams are not for children. If you are under the age of 18, please leave the page. I wouldn't... I don't know if I would call it a speed run, but if anyone comes in with accusations in a not civil way, or if anyone with a username I recognize decides to come in, immediate ban. All right. So I do want to start this off with talking about the TikToks. I don't know how much of that was heard in the first stream when my frames were dropping faster than my sanity at having to deal with all of this. Patterson made some very, very disgusting claims. They claimed not only are we lying about having DID, they have also claimed that we are lying about having been trafficked and having child sexual abuse material of us online. My apologies. Okay. Patterson had posted a TikTok. Let me just mute this for a few hours. Okay. And Patterson had posted a TikTok that is now deleted. Let me go back a bit. Patterson had done a live stream watching our live stream and decided that it would be a good idea to call the police in one of the cities of the state that we used to live in. We don't live in that city or the state anymore. But Patterson did call the police of where we used to live in that stream. And then posted a TikTok around 12 hours later saying that, actually, I can pull this up. Okay. Let me quick do some maneuvering. There we go. I can pull this up. So, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted this one. So this is the TikTok that they posted around 12 hours later. I believe we have already gone over some of this, but there have been new updates, so I'm going to go over it again. So it says, an officer called me. They have looked into Chroma's handlers. They are not. Chroma had a good childhood. I am not fake claiming, I am stating facts. Full-blown investigation proves no child sexual abuse material and trafficking ever happened. Additionally, Chroma has a huge history of defamation of character to the point they said their own loving parents are literal handlers. This is not okay. Do you want to know what is not okay? It is not okay to make claims like this, claiming that we had a quote-unquote good childhood when you know nothing about what we lived through. Do you think that it's fun and something happy for us to talk about? Do you think it was anything other than completely devastating to find out that they had done that to us? Yes, we make jokes about it sometimes. It is because it is our trauma and we are allowed to cope through humor. The fact that this claim was made in the first place is disgusting. and I said this before, but I don't know if it was even heard because of the technical errors. But we are not doing these streams for anyone except ourselves to heal. We will not address things or talk about things that we have already talked about and addressed in past streams. We are not going to dwell on that. If anyone has questions about something that we have already addressed, then you can go back and watch those streams. And if you still have questions about it, of course you are allowed to ask. But if it can be answered with what we already shared and talked about, we will not entertain that. How would Patterson know if we had a good childhood or not? Were they there? You know nothing about the way that we grew up beyond what we have chosen to share. It's not as if all of our memories of our parents are negative. It's why we have disorganized attachments to them, which is one of their requirements for developing DID. But this was a post made 12 hours after Patterson had called the police of where we used to live. And they are claiming that there was a full-blown investigation done in 12 hours. Do I even have to say how ridiculous that is? An investigation like that cannot be done in 12 hours. We also had not said that our parents were handlers. We had said that they put us in that situation. I don't know if they were handlers. We haven't spoken about our handlers publicly. I'm being somewhat corrected. Apparently, we had posted a DeviantArt journal over a decade ago, talking about having constant nightmares every night, which is not normal, for one. But in there, and I am going to say this because it is, I believe it is still up, so it is still public. In there, we mention the man with the knife. He was a very repetitive figure in a lot of those nightmares. That was one of our handlers. I'm not going to give more information on that, mostly because I don't have any. No, I cannot say whether or not our parents were actual handlers. I just know that they put us in that situation and they were involved. We never claimed that they were handlers. We never claimed that they were our handlers. So let's not twist words here. I'm not going to listen to this much, if at all. I'm going to read the caption. So let me make sure that it is visible. It says, and I don't need to apologize to someone who is actively doxing my phone number, address, full name, date of birth, etc. I am only apologizing to those who viewed that video and received misinformation. This, though, in turn, proves I do not have contact with Jay, as Chroma loves to claim. I cannot report Jay being doxed by Chroma to the police, as I'd have to report an incident happening to myself, or they won't take it seriously across state lines. The police have informed me of this. There are a few things about that. One, that does not prove that you do not have contact with Jay. It does not. It does not. And I'm not going to pull up the police reports again, because we have already gone through those. But one of them specifically states that Patterson had reported us to our local police at the time because they were concerned that we were doxing people all over the country. I know we've already issued this challenge, but I'm going to say it again. If that was not about Jay, which it is very clearly about Jay, because the stream dates and the date of the reports line up exactly. If it was not about Jay, who was it about? Who else have we supposedly doxed? If you can prove that on that date there was another person that we supposedly doxed, then I will retract this statement and give an apology. But until then, it adds up. The dates line up. So don't try and bullshit your way through this, especially when Jay referred to you as Rocky. Okay. Now, going back to this, Patterson had made a TikTok that has since been deleted or removed in some way. With a quote-unquote call with a police officer. And the caption... Did anyone take a screenshot of the caption of the video at all? Does anyone remember? Let me check. Let me check. I don't think we took a screenshot of the full thing. We took a screenshot of part of it. The caption in the video, some of it was proof from a police officer who knows Kira's family that Kira is faking DID and having been trafficked. That was in that TikTok. So there is a few things about that. Firstly, it would be a complete contract. It would be a complete conflict of interest for a cop who is in contact with and knows us or anyone we're related to step anywhere near a case like this. That's not legal. So no, that did not happen. 2, the cop knows that we're faking DID? Why would the cop know that, first of all? Are they also a therapist? Have they treated us as a client? I apologize if you can hear noises from outside. We have our window slightly open. So that already does not add up. But then, what really doesn't add up is during that call, there were claims made by the quote-unquote police officer, who could have been anyone. Apologies. But there were claims made during that phone call that there is no child sexual abuse material of us anywhere online. Patterson retracted that statement and took down that call proving that we had never been through that. And now they are saying that, yes, there is child sexual abuse material of us, but we still weren't trafficked. So there are a few things about that. Why did you post that quote-unquote phone call with the quote-unquote police officer as proof that we were not trafficked and never had child sexual abuse material made of us? And then a day later, retracts that statement and backpedal and say, there is that material of us online, but we still weren't trafficked. That negates the entire argument. You cannot claim something like that, post quote-unquote proof of that, and then retract that statement. That doesn't make any sense. Another thing, yes, it is possible for there to be children who are not trafficked but still have child sexual abuse material made of them, but not to anywhere near the extent of what we have spoken up about. And it also doesn't explain it does not explain why there is so much of it. It does not explain why there were other children involved in shoots that we were in. How could that happen if we were never trafficked? It does not add up. And claiming that we are faking being trafficked and lying about having been is absolutely disgusting. You don't know. You were not there. Trying to disprove these things isn't making you look better. So that is all I wanted to say on that. Now, we have not gone through the entirety of the first document. We still have the texts and phone logs and one more category to go through in this first document. But I am going to jump to the second document. It is not done, but certain sections are done. And there's one specifically that I want to go over, because I'm sure once that group of people realize that I have spoken about it and have found out about it, the things will get deleted. I don't want that to happen before I can speak about it. So we're going to go over that now. There is a section in here And this name is going to come up again. How much do I want to say? How much do I want to say? We are being very careful with what we say when, because we don't want anyone to delete things. Because they don't know everything that we have. This name will come up again once we go over the Tucker section. Pro. So let's go through the videos. How do I know this is pro, by the way? Because of this thumbnail right here. So I don't want any claims of it not being this person. So why am I pointing that out? Well, first of all, we need to go over here.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I have a new mascot and a new design. However, it's just your normal day-to-day bullshit adventure with that child groomer, Tynan Laird. Don't worry, Max McElhannon is also in this video, and I will be showing you what he had to say about my girlfriend in due time. Let's get started with the first screenshot.
I don't want to actually talk about what is said in this video, I just want to talk about the screenshots that are shown because they will come up once we go over the Tucker section. So you can pause to read that if you would like. These are important. This one specifically. This one specifically. These are important, and you will see why. You will see why once we go over the Tucker section. That's all I wanted to do with that. And I need to move quickly now. Okay. So. All of these are posted publicly. This is not doxing any information.
I need to address a separate but equally serious issue, one that speaks to respect, consent, and basic human dignity. Pronouns are not something other people get to assign. They are not a tool for argument.
I'm going to go through the transcripts because it is quicker. You are free to pause at any point. So why is that relevant, first of all? It is because of, I believe, this video. Okay, it is not that video, so I need to find I know it is one of these that we have already gone through previously on our own. Okay. Transcripts. Because I know that this person says the name of... Was it in this one?
Channel, as you can see.
Okay, so I don't know if... Is the name said in this one? Yep, okay. We're going to listen from here, and I want you to pay attention to one of the names said, and it will be brought up in a moment.
Oh, in this screenshot. Maybe if you weren't so dumb, you would have worked it out by now. We know it was you, Laird, simple as. Unless you're trying to say it was Kiki, I would be very careful, Laird. You're on thin.
So that name that was said. And I'm going to go in the description, and you can see that name and the spelling. So why am I bringing this up? Why am I bringing this up? There's a very simple reason for it, actually. Because of this, GoFundMe. So, you can see the name there matches the name that this pro person had stated. And then underneath that, it says, "My name is Kyoko." This was a GoFundMe. It is still posted publicly. It is still posted publicly, and let me actually go here because it was posted here. So the name matches, first of all. But why else am I bringing this up? It is because of a video that is very interesting. A couple of videos, actually. We'll start with this one. We won't dwell on it much. I just want you to pay attention to the title of this video. It mentions someone named Legendary Shade. And why am I bringing that up? Why is this important? This is because Patterson made a video on one of their YouTube accounts about the same person. These are the only two videos that we have found mentioning this. we found Pro's account on complete accident when we were trying to find this video again. But it is interesting that everything seems to be adding up with the name and with them both calling out this person. That will become even more relevant once we go over this Tucker screenshots. So everything that I'm showing is public. I'm going to go by newest comments, and we are going to just scroll and see what we find. I want to mostly just point out some usernames. So Emotionless Tornado is also known as Stormlover10, also known as, is it Witchy Goddess Storm or Witchy Storm Goddess, who is Patterson's fiance. I would also like to just point out really quick, there is no evidence of anything shown in this video or in Pro's video. Does the Scott username look familiar to anyone? Does the picture look familiar to anyone? Because we will be bringing up Scott later too. Then so if you want to talk about doxing, here Patterson says all information referenced to is publicly available and self-disclosed on the individual's own profiles. Nothing we've said has been doxing. It has all been public information. You cannot say this and have that be fine, but then be upset when we do it. I want you to pay attention to this name, XY Stormwolf YX, and the numbers don't really matter. They will come up later, also in the Tucker screenshots, and in their own section. So just keep in mind that this person, Stormwolf, commented on this video that Patterson posted, and Patterson liked the comments, showing that they are not on bad terms. This is important. It is not doxing because your first name is in that GoFundMe that you posted. Do you recognize another username that we have covered already? Wish, this one says NMB, but the other one was NBM. I don't think that the order of it really matters. It's the fact that this is the same person. And they mentioned someone named Arachnid Witch, which we will also bring them up later. That is all that I wanted to point out with that. I know that it seems like a lot of information that does not matter. It will become relevant once we start talking about and showing other screenshots. I just want everyone to keep those in mind. So I'm going to, we already did that. We're just going to go through all of Patterson's accounts on YouTube and Twitch. So this is one of the YouTube accounts. This is the one that posted the legendary shade video. And you'll also notice on the banner it says the horror. That is another name that I want everyone to keep in mind, because it will come up later. There's also this one, which that is a nice description. Then we have one of their Twitch channels. And we have their second Twitch channel. Those are all publicly available. None of this is private information. Okay. But as you can see, we don't have most of these sections done. I'm going to take a quick pause before we continue. There is a lot of information that I want to go through. I do want to finish out the rest of the first document. But I'm going to break here. I'll put on the be right back screen. I'm not going to play music. And everyone take this time to go get more water if you need to. Grab something to eat, stretch, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do. And we will be back in 5 to 10 minutes, hopefully. Okay. So I was talking with Echo. I cannot go over the text and the phone call logs today because we need to redact phone numbers. It's not us hiding anything, it's us protecting our own platform. So, who should we start with? Who should we start with? Let's start with Spiral. So, many of you are not going to know who this person is. But they were a very vocal, very aggressive supporter of Patterson. Mainly through TikTok, but there were also DeviantArt messages, which I believe we have in here. So here are some screenshots of TikToks. Let me zoom in a bit on this one specifically. So what I'm specifically going to point out is this paragraph. Michael is gone, John is gone, Greg is gone, Emily is gone, and it is all Chroma's fault. That was nice of them. So, do I have context for this comment? Yes, I do. Okay. So I'm just going to read this screenshot out, and then I will scroll down and give the context of it. We took a lot of this from our own documents that we have been keeping since 2022, maybe? So this was our account. This was when Corey version 1 and Evan version 1 still existed. And they said, we don't owe you overtness. Alters who exist solely to mask exist. You're harming our community. And in response, Spiral took a screenshot of that and responded with, you're harming our community, not us. Quit stalking and harassing our friends. We know this is an indirect comment at us, I think it says. Leave us alone, this is your last warning. We're sick of you hurting our friends and us. You're harming our community by claiming us to aid abusers when you are literally an abuser yourself. Get the hell off our page. So, I'm going to read this next screenshot. This is a screenshot, it's not text. We are going to read it as it is written. Like we say in the disclaimer, this is not us trying to deadname or misgender anyone. We've already been over this. So it says, as you can see from the comment that Spiral shows in their video, we commented on our own video. Spiral took the time to seek out our TikTok profile, watch our video, and screenshot the comment we put on it, then proceeded to claim we were on their page. For extra context, our comment was put on a video we made about masking in DID/OSDD systems after we were attacked because Spiral and Kyoko had claimed we were pretending one of our previous hosts had gone dormant. We had only been masking on DeviantArt and in our offline life, and any videos including the previous host had been re-uploads after we had our first TikTok account mass reported and falsely banned. Kyoko and Spiral had taken one of our videos where we mentioned how long that altar had been dormant, took the date of one of the re-uploaded videos, and used it to say the dates didn't match up and therefore we were lying. The reason the dates didn't match up is because the videos were not new. That reminded me of something that I also wanted to address, because we have heard that there are claims going on around our factive altar of Patterson. We use she, her pronouns for Key because that is what Key uses. Key is not Patterson. Key is simply sourced from Patterson. It is not us misgendering or trying to deadname Patterson, because Key is her own person, separate from Patterson. I want to make that very clear. We did not ask for a factive of Patterson. We did not want a factive of Patterson. When you have DID, you cannot choose your alters. So, Spiral, I believe on this video in the comments, said, "No one is masking as Drew in this situation. Drew is still openly posting on DeviantArt. Nothing has changed, period. It's only as a means to guilt trip and manipulate our community, simply for feeling bad the host went dormant." And then the screenshot of the text says, "This is a screenshot from January of 2022, showing Spiral claiming we lied about one of our previous hosts going dormant. As stated before, we were masking as Drew on DeviantArt and in our offline life. This screenshot also shows that Spiral had been stalking our DeviantArt page." Okay, I'm going to read out the left side because we have already gone over the right side screenshots. So this one says, from Spiral says, "It's not to mask. They are doing this to purposely hurt anyone involved in the situation that doesn't agree with them. That's all this is. They still attack us, our friends, and the system they doxed. They still stalk our pages relentlessly. They are not the victim they say they are." And then in this video, they have text saying, we're sick of being attacked by this deranged adult man-child sociopath. We feel so bad for Riles and their system. Please support their petition and get this creep locked up. We will be going over the petition eventually, because we do have screenshots of it. And then they posted a video saying, "Keep posting as if we don't all know what you've done, criminal. We will never forget what you've done, and your crimes will shine throughout your time on the internet. Warning all innocents before you hurt them too." The text says, "This screenshot was taken in January of 2022. This was a preview of a TikTok posted by Spiral. The username isn't shown, but the video is signed off by their Alter 5, who has signed off in previous screenshots. Okay, now I need to zoom in. And that is about as good as that is going to get. But I will read it out. So it is a screenshot of our DeviantArt profile. And they said, 2 eyes for 1 eye, we'll take that. Didn't y'all just sign off a few days ago, less than 10, withdrew. You're painting our community like imbeciles when we aren't. Which we have already gone over and addressed. Those were re-uploads. Those were not new videos. Then they say he keeps posting, thought he went D-worded, meaning dormant. They also haven't updated their DeviantArt despite continuously updating their TikTok to 20 plus, 30 plus, then 40 plus. Okay, let me zoom out. And it says, just because we do not constantly update every single social media does not mean we're faking. The previous host was also not the only alter who does art. Ooh, we do need to zoom in for this one. Okay. He said, yeah, we'll take that. Fair trade if you ask us. He brought this upon us, other systems, royals in their system, and yourselves. You have no one but yourselves to blame for your trauma you just gained. You are not innocent, you are an imbecile. And below it, it says, Spiral constantly posted things like this saying we deserved the trauma we received and that we deserved the damage done to our system. And something that I want to add, calling it trauma, is just fake claiming the things that we've been through. And then on their backup account, they decided to comment on some of our TikToks, which was lovely of them. So they said, disgusting. This is how you act knowing you've released your victim's address. You get to feel safe and carefree while their family is in danger, thanks to none other than you. The court will hear about this and dismiss your protective order. It's all lies. Do not believe the system. They abuse legal resources to dox their victim. Look at our pinned video for proof. And this says, those were commented on our TikTok videos before the Spiral backup account blocked us. Because they blocked us before we saw the comments, we had no way of deleting the comments at all. And then we get a message on DeviantArt. Do you notice the name? John Spiral? And careful, you'll get accused of sexual harassment. Now, the date on this was November 30th, 2021. And they messaged us and said, hello, Magic Clan, otherwise the Chroma System on TikTok, the Chroma System on Simply Plural, Cyan Cran, hashtag 4948 on Discord, PrismAxolotl on Minecraft, etc. We are only allowing ourselves to contact you for one reason, to get you to back off our case. If you could be kind enough as to cease the spreading of lies about us, just because you disagree with us, that would be very much appreciated. Rouse has attempted to stop the situation multiple times, as have your friends and their friends. You are the only one who has completely refused to stop. If you were truly suffering due to this situation, you'd cut yourself off from it for good. That's how easy it is. Copains. Better yet, you would actually get the help that your now ex-friends have offered you to get time and time again, rather than ignoring them so much that they decided to block you entirely. The ones that have blocked you were afraid you'd twist their words, and you have already done so. Just because you don't like Riles doesn't mean they are an abuser. This is incredibly dement that this has been allowed to continue even after everyone has told you to back down, to which you refuse to. Don't be hard-headed, kid. It gets us nowhere. Please stop dragging everyone you see into this. All it shows is just how far you're actually willing to go just to get some petty revenge. They tried apologizing to you, and they tried taking down their posts in an agreement that you would do the same. There's no proof of that agreement, first of all. To add on to this, Riles already showed us every single piece of evidence you have. Giving them the evidence you collected does absolutely nothing to aid an abuser. They have all of that and much more, so all it really does is prepare them for the questions that pop up when things turn legal. Should you try to escalate the lies you're attempting to spread about us, don't be surprised when you are suspended or banned, especially since you have been stealing their character designs without permission, and you even made an almost exact copy of theirs. I'm not going to attempt to read the French there, because I do not speak French. So here are the Discord screenshots. I know that these are not all of them, but these are all of the ones that we have found. And this is important because it also shows contradictions that have been made and indirect admission to doing things. So, our account is Cyan Cran here. Their account is the Spiral Collection. We said they did already get banned from TikTok once for duetting one of my videos with pictures of graphic self-harm. Spiral says they have admitted to that. We said I have screenshots of those. I don't remember if it's in the email. Spiral says I am still looking through. I do apologize if I am slow. We said they also edited a screenshot to make it seem like I called them a slur for autistic people that I'm not going to say. Spiral says they admitted that to me as well. They sent me the full original screenshots for that conversation. Obviously, there is bits missing, unfortunately. I will go back into our Discord DMs and see if Spiral left any of the messages up. Because Scott did not let us keep the messages in our DMs. We were lucky enough to take screenshots as we were talking with Scott. But Scott did delete all of their messages in our DMs. So I don't know how much is left out or anything. In this next screenshot, we say, go ahead, I don't care, I'm filing that restraining order so they just stop harassing me because they won't stop making new accounts and sending people after me. I was nothing but supportive until they started saying I manipulated and gaslighted them because I set boundaries because I needed to focus on myself, because I didn't like that they spammed my DMs while I was impatient and then accused me of faking going in, which is another thing that we will be covering eventually. There is a lot to go over from this entire situation. It has been going on for almost 5 years. There is a lot to go over. So it is going to take a while for us to get through all of this. Spiral said, I want to say this now, they are making new accounts so you can stop telling people about them. You are still using their dead name and she, her to enough of them where they are not even aware they use they, them pronouns or a different name. They continue to make new accounts because they continue to receive endless harassment from people. The Micah person was one of the people harassing them because of this situation. They told me this already and they had just enough reason to believe you manipulated as you have for them. You two have miscommunicated a ridiculous amount. You two are not the only ones being hurt here. Are you aware? And we said, I didn't make any posts about them until they started putting my usernames out, and even then I didn't post their name. I think this is a direct continuation from that screenshot, but I cannot say for sure, so I will not claim that for sure. We said, so no, I'm going legal with this. I haven't logged onto DeviantArt in months. Spiral said, do you understand their therapist researched for weeks to get you in legal trouble and failed? You doxed them just last month on DeviantArt. We said, and my therapist said that's bullshit, that a therapist doesn't deal with legal shit. I didn't dox them, I put up a cease and desist, legal. Which, I do not agree that we should have posted that in the first place. We should not have posted that in the first place. It never should have been posted. So I do apologize that it was posted in the first place. And you cannot post your cease and desists online to Legendary Shade and then come after us for doing the same. So, while yes, it was not okay on our end, and I do apologize for that, it never should have been posted, you are being hypocritical by attacking us when you are doing the same thing. Spiral said, it's not legal, their information is not public, and you put up their full legal name and exact town's location. We said their full name is public info. I don't think this is a direct continuation, so this next screenshot, Spiral says, give me a moment, please. I am under a lot of pressure. It's hard to see because it's cut off, but that is what it says. Yeah, please stop using self-harm and suicide against other people, whether it be their own or you threatening to hurt yourself. It's disgusting. Mental illness is not a game. And to quote your very own words, suffering is not a competition. If you truly believe that, you would see how badly you're hurting even your own friends, your own means of defense. Just because you have a system and Riles doesn't, that doesn't mean they've gone through worse stuff. Whether you want it or not, I'm sending them what you've sent me. I want them to see what you are spewing about them because it's not true. We will be warning other systems about you because this is dangerous, destructive behavior. You are acting no better than they are because at least they see where other people are hurting. You don't. You don't stop, nor do you learn. Please go get some help. You clearly need it. You're not the only one suffering, and you are harming many, many other people. I hope you get the help you need. I ask you don't twist my words here either. I know that's a habit of yours. Goodbye. In response, we said, wow. And then Spiral said, please do not ask to contact me or Michael or Amelie again. Stop attempting to twist our actions and words into your own warped sense of what happened. You are defacing evidence, and that is a crime punishable by law. Back down now, Drew. Yes, unfortunately, other people, such as our friends, have been hurt through this situation. It was never intentional, but that does not negate the harm that was caused. And we have apologized to many, many of our friends many, many times. We always say that if they do not want to be involved, they absolutely do not have to be involved. If they want to, that is their own choice, and they are free to step back and away from it at any point. So this was left on someone else's video, I believe. And Spiral says, you have one day to delete this video before I do something to you. I mean it. We're sick of you mindless sheep treating our friends like garbage over some half-assed video of spineless claims you saw that has zero evidence to begin with. And signed off with the tone tag meaning threats. Spiral, in the same video, said there is no excuse in the world to encompass what you've done to aid their abuser to get away with more and more shit. Okay, here's another chat log between us and Spiral. I don't know where this is in reference to the other screenshots. So Spiral is responding to a message that we sent them where we said, Ryle sent me videos of them self-harming too, which is true. Spiral said, I also want to ask, do you know where this was sent to you? Do you have it in the email? We said, let me see if I downloaded it. I didn't download it. Let me look through the emails. Spiral says, thank you. We send a video. We are never going to show that video. Because one, it is graphic. And two, it is none of anyone's business. But that is a video that Patterson sent us, showing their fresh self-harm marks. Spiral says, from the screenshots in the server, it looks like they weren't even going for you until you had said something to them. It still checks out on their side of claims. Where was that sent from? Which we are going to show the screenshots from that server that is being referenced. We say, yes, but they still went into a server I'm in to spread lies and harass me. That video was in DMs. Okay. That is all that is in the Spiral section. I don't know if we have any more from them. I would have to check. I know that this was put together somewhat last minute. I'm going to go over the storm section very quick, because I don't think there's much in here at all. Okay, there's some in here. Let me zoom in further. I'll have to zoom out. Okay, let me scroll up a bit. Okay, so this was in a DeviantArt chat between us, not us. We were not involved in this screenshot. I misspoke. I apologize. This was between Storm and someone that we were friends with. So Storm initiated the conversation and said, "You do realize you're siding with an abuser, right?" In response, this other person says, "My dude, Kyo and I are literally on friendly terms and vibing together. Chill, please. Why are you so insistent on continuing to drag this on when both of the parties who were actively a part of it have more or less called a truce?" Storm says, "Truce? I seriously doubt that." The other person says, "Suit yourself, but the two of them are planning to stop interacting at all with each other. That's why both parties took down their stuff." Storm says, "Okay, sorry, Kyo just confirmed that you guys made up, so I apologize." And this is a screenshot, not text, taken from our doc. So this just adds more context. This is a screenshot from someone Kyoko dragged into the situation. XY Stormwolf YX is one of Kyoko's most outspoken supporters. Storm and this person did not have any previous conversation history, and Storm took it upon themselves to harass this person, as you can see above. And then it doesn't say Stormwolf, but it's in the theme. Wolf Lover 358 commented on one of Key's videos, saying, "Still stealing someone else's name, identity theft, and being transphobic. Grow up, Kira, and act your age. Such a child." So Nora is one of our spiritual protectors. I don't care how anyone else feels about spirituality or witchcraft or any of your beliefs. This is something that Nora believes in, and that should be respected. She sees it as protection for us. Please respect that. We will not tolerate any hatred or mocking of that. So, Nora said this was in a server that we were in, and the claim has been made that Storm was in the server first, and then we joined later. That is false. We joined the server first, and then Storm joined. Which, when we go over the Reddit comments, that we only have a few of, I believe, that is going to come up again. A lot of these things are interconnected, so it is difficult to even put together a document with a bunch of this information, because a lot of the timelines will go back and forth, and there's so much that is said and then will be referenced later. So I understand that it's confusing. You are free to ask for clarification at any time. We will always give clarification where needed. So in this server, Nora says, curses are cute, which I believe is a response to... I believe at this point was when we learned that Storm was sending things that we said in this server to Patterson. And we will not make any claims about why Storm was in there until we show the evidence to prove that, because we do not make baseless claims. Then Nora said, if you're going to send things, Storm, you could be more discreet. Storm says, keep my name out of your mouth, thanks. We respond with, keep ours out of yours, thanks. Then we say, it's amusing, I know. On another note, now that I'm out, I have some things to do. On a positive note, Corey is finally going to stream again tonight in about an hour. And this was when... this would have been Corey version 1. And then we said, we've started looking into things the lawyer suggested as well. Things should be moving quickly from here. This is someone else who was in that server being supportive. We respond with, thank you for indirectly. And then we say thank you to them, and then we say, thank you for indirectly giving us more to work with for the lawyers as well, Storm. I appreciate it. Storm says, OMFG STFU, please. We respond, why? You seem awfully eager to start fights but can't handle confrontation. Storm says the one stalking their abuser. Our response is, may I remind you of the countless accounts they made on the site they were banned from. Storm said, are you fucking delusional or something? They haven't made any fucking accounts. And here's where we share a screenshot showing just some of the usernames that have popped up in like our notifications and things. One thing we did not cross out, which we later corrected, was Storm's account at the bottom. Which it's very clear that that is not meant to be us saying that Storm is Patterson. Storm is not Patterson, as far as I am aware. It was simply a mistake. We overlooked one username. And then we said, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like Mari said before, and Mari is an alter in our system. They could, at the very least, try to be creative. Storm says, the only accounts on there that are actually theirs were made before they met you, long before they met you. Also, if there are any accounts made newer than that, it was to get away from your harassment. We said, Ashley, that's false too. They made multiple more accounts after being permanently banned from the sites. This other person in the server says, I mean, the ones that are straight up death threats are a bit sus. Wouldn't you agree? Our response was, especially after we received other death threats relating to it. Storm responds with, also, BTW, one of those accounts are mine, so keep lying out of your ass. Here, this person says, girl, there being one account in a blacklist that isn't theirs is not the serve you think it is. We respond to this one, saying, oh, the Storm one matching your username? I missed it when crossing things out. Don't be dense. Storm says, thanks so much for calling me stupid. And we said, of course, anytime. Storm said, clearly can't read sarcasm, which we can. We were being... It was a joke. And then we said, anyways, trigger warning for direct death threats, including doxing and mentions of SA. I don't... Okay, we didn't share that screenshot in particular. This person says, completely normal behavior, obviously being sarcastic. We said, oh, of course, only sane people do that. Don't forget they have a record of mass accounts. This isn't even updated. And then you can pause if you would like, but this is just on TikTok. And this person responds with completely normal and hinged. Average normal person. And then we say, but let's pretend for a moment that my system is out of line, because, as you know who states, we haven't tried moving accounts. That doesn't negate the fact that the mass amount of accounts we have blocked is kind of ridiculous. Every day a new one pops up and watches us on DeviantArt, and we have to block it. Let's pretend we are stalking them. Sure, we checked their TikTok after we received a wave of profile views on ours after their video claiming we groomed them. It's funny, they never started claiming to be a system until after we broke contact with them. How would we groom their littles? We didn't know they even existed. Now, is there anything else anyone would like to say so I can counter it and be done with it? I didn't think so. And then this was just the server owner saying, hey, I would prefer not to have conflict, which is fine. And then this is Storm, and this is one of Patterson's accounts. And this was when Storm started defending us out of nowhere before they turned to Patterson's side. So I'm not going to say the C word, but you can read it. And Storm says, OMFG, fuck off. Leave them alone. Patterson says, do you notice how they are sending people to harass me while I am simply sitting here trying to warn others? Maybe you should learn to get the whole story before you start calling horrible names and saying fuck off like a drunk person who cannot grasp the true situation. Not trying to be rude, just saying. Storm responds saying, okay, instead of acting like a child, which you are acting like one, act like an adult. Patterson responds with, first of all, I'm not acting like a child. Speak for yourself before you harass random people that you know absolutely nothing about. Maybe take a second to at least try to understand things better. I suggest you stop here, because I'm going to report you the next time you try insulting me again. What's childish here is that you don't try to understand the story more than the rumors and lies. That is childish. That is not behaving mature. And Storm in response says, go ahead, report me. DeviantArt won't really do anything. Patterson says, actually they will. The point is, try to understand the situation instead of being so incredibly ignorant about it. I tried to be nice responding to you when you've only repeatedly come after me with insults. And Storm responds saying, how is calling you a child an insult? Okay, this is not a conversation between us and Storm. This is between someone else and Storm. And they sent... Okay, this was the owner of that server where those other screenshots were from. So this person says they're talking about how I don't even know what to say to that comment. Because you act so much. You just have more common sense than all of these people, it seems like. But the owner of the server was talking about when Patterson decided to directly copy, like completely steal one of our art things. They didn't even like trace it or anything. They didn't trace it. They screenshotted it from our page and then re-uploaded it, claiming it was theirs. So that is what they are talking about here. So this person says the one that Chroma sent was an exact copy. Also in the comments of one of those designs, Chroma was asked to adjust the design, and they said that they would happily do so if given proof of the similarity. Whether or not that happened, I don't know. Storm's response was they said the OC Chroma sent wasn't being sold, that it was only to see if Chroma was still stalking them, and it proved their point, and as soon as it did, they took it down. This person responds with, okay, but that's still fucked up. You don't post other people's art, not without permission. And also, why does it matter if Chroma is still keeping an eye on them? Unless Chroma is interacting with your friend, which they should not be, and if they are, that's an entirely different issue. How does Chroma keeping an eye on things affect anything? It's like someone you barely know occasionally scrolling through your Facebook, but not commenting on anything. I don't see an issue as long as there isn't any harm happening to anyone. And that is what we have for the storm section. That was a lot of information covered. I don't think I can hold front for too much longer. It's easier for me to hold front than a lot of our other alters because I am primary protector. But that does not mean that I can hold front forever. So we'll redact the numbers that are shown in the text and the phone logs. And we'll work more on on the second doc. We do have a list written down on our phone of other sections we want to go over. It's a lot. It's okay, numbers are not looking right anymore. Oh my god, my head. My head. Sorry. Sorry, it's echo. Which, I guess while I'm here, before I end stream, I want to say that we were fake claimed because I have a name, which is funny. I'm not gonna change, like, the thing on the stream with the name. Because Ashley's the main one doing these streams. I just want to leave it up, and I can't really focus right now anyway. But apparently my name means that we're faking having DID, which is funny. Quick little fun fact about, like, my name and why I chose it. So Corey version 1 chose their name based on the meaning, and the meaning of Corey's name is hollow. So it's, for me, it's symbolic because we're not going to be quiet about it. I'm not going to be quiet about it. We've been silent long enough, so that's what that is. Little fun fact to end stream with. But alters having pronouns doesn't mean that we're being transphobic. I'm not gonna say anything more because I don't want us to get in trouble. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and